All right, 8 through 13. 8 through 13 gives us an example of both adding and subtracting rational numbers. We have our adding decimals, adding fractions, subtracting decimals, subtracting fractions, have positive and negative numbers in here, so a lot of things going on. Okay? What happens when we subtract negatives? Everybody in here by now should be sign switchers, right? Okay? So we should be adding opposites. Okay? We take away negatives, we say that's a good thing. It's just like adding. So this problem is actually 5 73/100 plus 3 56/100. Please make sure when we're adding and subtracting with decimals, we need to line up place values. Okay? So 3 plus 6 is 9. 7 and 5 is 12. We have 2/10. We get one more whole. We should have a grand total of 9 29/100. Okay? All right, number 9. Now we're adding a negative plus a positive. Now when we add and our signs are different, we find the difference of the two, right? And we keep the greatest absolute value. Now I want you to look at this before we begin. Okay? If we start at negative 5/3, and then we're going to add, and we're adding a grand total of 7/3, I bet you many of us don't even need to subtract. Many of us can say right now that we're going to get to the positives, okay? Because if we were adding 5/3, our answer would be 0. We start at negative 5/3. If we add 5/3, we'd be at 0. But we're adding a grand total of 7/3. So where should we be at? It should be 2/3. Now, those of you that subtracted the two, found the difference, we should have 7/3 minus 5/3, and we get 2/3. Now we determine positive or negative based off of which number has the greatest absolute value. The number with the greatest absolute value is the positive, so it is positive 2/3. Okay? All right, now our subtraction, we already did, you know, we subtracted a negative. Hopefully everybody added a positive. When we have fractions, we're going to make common denominators. So 4 and we're going to use tenths. It should be 4 and 4/10. And we're going to add that to 6 and 5/10. And we should get a grand total of 10 and 9/10. Once we have common denominators, we only add the numerator. 4 plus 5 is 9. We're in simplest form, and we should be able to convert that to a decimal, which would be 10.9 or 10 and 9/10. Okay, problem number 11. When the signs are the same, just add them and keep the signs, right? We're going further in the whole negative. Make sure, again, with decimals, make sure that we line up the decimal point. So 9 24/100, and we're adding that to a negative 2 89/100. We just add them together. And keep the sign. Negative 12 13/100. Okay? And make sure that we line up those decimal points when we're adding and subtracting. Okay? Each place value, we have to subtract hundredths from hundredths. Okay? It's not like multiplication. Now on this one, when they actually give you the number line, isn't this kind of easy to see? That we just say, all right, well, here's 1, 2, 3 plus a half. The distance between them is 3.5. All right? It's 3.5. It's just the distance between the two. It is 3.5. Yep. Exactly. Absolute value comes into play there. Okay. All right. I'll give you a couple minutes to do 14 and 15, and then we'll come back and do that next.